pitcher preview. Fun. Let's talk about it next on Fantasy Baseball Today in 5. Welcome into FBT in 5. As always, make sure to follow and stream us on Spotify. Today is Friday, February 18th. I am Frank Stanfield, joined, of course, by Scott White, and we're going to take a look at the 10 surefire closers, according to Scott, and then the 8 probable closers. But let's start with this group of 5, Scotty. Up top, of course, you have the aces at the position, Liam Hendricks and Josh Hader, followed by Raisel Iglesias, Edwin Diaz, and Emmanuel Clase. What do you think of this 5? Do you find yourself drafting any of them?
Obviously, a lot's up in the air right now at relief pitcher, who's going to get saves, who isn't. So you see this group, not only are they surefire closers, but they're surefire stud closers, and so they're going for a real premium right now. Realistically, I'm not going to pay it for any of them. I do want to mention, though, for Emmanuel Clase, I do think he belongs in this group. 1.29 ERA last year. He's got one of the most GIF-worthy pitches in baseball. Really hard to square up. Great ground ball rate. And James Karinchak really fell off in the second half with the foreign substance ban. So I think Class A is legit.
All right, this next group of 5, again, these are surefire closers. Ryan Presley, Aroldis Chapman, Will Smith, Jordan Romano, and Mark Melancon. Scott, I think Jordan Romano, he has the talent, but the question is, surefire closer for now, because once the lockout ends, I could see the Blue Jays maybe going out and making a move.
Right. Hypothetically, the Blue Jays could do something. They're looking to take that next step. They really should have been a playoff team last year, just looking at their run differential. So they might try to improve around the margins, bring in a Craig Kimbrell in a trade or a Kenley Jansen as a free agent. But provided they don't, Romano should be a stud closer, and I'd be willing to pay the price for him in most leagues. I do want to mention, since Mark Melancon got grouped in with these others, clearly a different caliber of closer. Yes, he's one of the 10 surefire closers. The Diamondbacks signed him to fill that job. But performance-wise, he doesn't have the ability of these others, and he's closing for the Diamondbacks. So are the save chances going to be there? That's a major question.
Yeah, major questions indeed abound with this position when it comes to relief pitchers and, of course, all of these closers. The 8 probable closers. First off, we have this group of 4. Kenley Jansen, Giovanny Gallegos, Craig Kimbrell, and Camilo Doval. Again, Scotty, Craig Kimbrell, you mentioned the name. Seems like he's very likely to be traded from the White Sox, and if you're drafting now, if he does get traded, then he's probably going to jump up 50 spots in ADP.
Yeah, I mean, it's a known thing. The White Sox are looking to trade him to be a closer for somebody else. So I'm surprised, especially given the premium being placed on closers right now with so much up in the air. I get he's kind of up in the air too, but he's going around 170th on average. And I'll gamble on that, given that we know the White Sox want to trade him. I don't know. Kenley Jansen's pretty much being drafted as if he for sure will be a closer. And, we'll see where he signs. I think it probably will be a closer wherever he signs. But if he signs with a contender who already has a stud closer, then obviously he won't be. I'm also concerned about Giovanny Gallegos' job security in a way that's not reflected in the ADP. He's great, but he's been great 3 years in a row now, and the Cardinals keep finding other choices to close instead. I just don't think they want him in that role unless they're backed into a corner.
It's worth mentioning they have a new manager in Oliver Marmol, but he was the bench coach under Mike Shildt since the start of 2019. So my guess, at least, is that he will run things very similarly to how Mike Shildt did them in the past. This final group of 4, we have Scott Barlow, Corey Knebel, Joe Barlow, and Dylan Floro. Scott, talk to me about the Barlows, maybe which one you would rather have. And Corey Knebel, it seems like for now, he is the closer for the Philadelphia Phillies.
So this is my wheelhouse. I don't like to pay for saves. These guys are all going around 200th or later, and I do feel like they're probably going to at least begin the year as their team's closer. Scott Barlow basically was the Royals closer for the entire second half. The numbers were great. The whip was a little high, but the strikeouts were there. I do think he's their best reliever, and I think he's being undervalued. I'd be okay taking him as my number 1, probably. I'm more optimally my number 2, but I can live with Scott Barlow as my number 1. And then Dylan Floro, for bargain basement price, is somebody I like to target as well. He's not the best reliever in the Marlins bullpen. Anthony Bender is, but Don Mattingly just shown a willingness to go with the kind of atypical reliever as his closer in the past. And if Floro got the job done after Yimi Garcia was traded last year, I think he's good enough to keep the job.
All right, for more extensive fantasy baseball coverage, listen to the Fantasy Baseball Today podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, your smart speakers, or anywhere else podcasts are found. And thanks for listening to Fantasy Baseball Today in 5. We'll be back again on Monday morning. Bye-bye.